So moving on to the main event, our AZA virtual conference is taking place then the following week, the 14th through the 18th. And we have taken all of the same critical parts of our in-person conferences and translated those onto a virtual platform in a slightly different configuration, knowing that we have probably some shorter times that people can tolerate being together and listening, and also that building in social events and things like that looks a little bit differently. But we're still having a number of general sessions and keynote speakers, our typical concurrent sessions that are divided into tracks that I'll share a bit more about from there. We have posters as well. The virtual poster platform is really fantastic and has a lot of opportunity for you to engage with the posters and those who are presenting posters. And then our virtual exhibit hall as well. Our exhibit hall is a great feature of our annual conference that includes exhibitors, and those are people that provide products and services and are also our partners. So our commercial members are a category within AZA for those service providers within our field, and they act as partners and supporters of our members and the overall mission focused work that we do for AZA as well. So there's an opportunity for you to visit those exhibitors through their virtual exhibit booths and engage with them and understand what great products and services are out there. And then of course, your opportunities for social gathering and networking. So let's look at what it looks like for a typical day at the AZA annual virtual conference. So this is a snapshot from that annual conference website. As I said, the overall agenda is on both websites, and there's a feature on this one called At a Glance, which is a nice way to just look at the overview of the schedule without all the details of what's happening, so you can just kind of look at the time blocks for the day. And so this At a Glance schedule, you'll see every morning we'll start with something called coffee talks. And coffee talks are essentially just Zoom rooms that are set up for organized by track. And so that the tracks are different areas of the profession, and I'll list them on the next slide. But they are things like education, volunteer and intern management, business operations, communications and public relations. And so professionals that identify in that track would gather in these rooms and just be able to chat informally, thinking about what sessions are you planning to attend that day? Was there anything about yesterday that really resonated with you? Or just to introduce yourself and get to know other professionals working in that area of the field. So there'll be a kind of unstructured room, although you should see representatives from our annual conference program committee that will be in there on Monday, and some of our other committees and track liaisons will be popping in throughout the week as well. This is meant to recreate a bit of that feeling when you're going before the general session to get your coffee and your breakfast and just kind of mingling and meeting people for the first time at the conference. And then at 11 a.m. Eastern time, all the conference sessions are scheduled in Eastern time as they're appearing on our schedule, is our opening general session. And again, each morning, Monday through Friday, we'll start with a general session. And so that's a great way to kind of orient you, get you situated in the platform, listen in on some important pieces before you really dive into your day. That gives you more opportunity for engagement and choice as you look through the schedule. So just after our opening general session on Monday is our kickoff of our Exhibit Hall Live. And every time you see Exhibit Hall Live on the schedule, that means that's dedicated time for you to spend with our exhibitors. And our exhibitors will be there ready and willing to engage and receive you in their virtual exhibit spaces where there is a live chat feature. And so you can spend that time going in. There'll be an Exhibit Hall page where you're able to see all the exhibitors listed, click through, and then each exhibitor has a page as a virtual booth that has a lot of information, visuals, some have videos, and then also that live chat feature. And so our exhibitors will be in their booths ready to chat with you during those Exhibit Hall Live times. And so this grand opening will be a bit of a celebration. Typically in person, we have some kind of performer or music, and everyone processes from the general session room to the Exhibit Hall Live. And so instead, we're going to be virtually kicking off the Exhibit Hall this year and giving you some more information and an overview of how to engage with those exhibitors in the virtual platform. And then we will move into our concurrent sessions. And those are the sessions that are being presented by AZA members. Most of them are panel discussions with anywhere from 4 to 10 speakers talking about a particular topic. And there's going to be 9 or 10 of those happening at the same time. That's why they're called concurrent. And so typically in person, you would have to choose which one you're going to go to during any given time slot. And that's it. Hope that a friend or colleague of yours is going to the other one you wanted to attend in that same time slot, and you can compare notes. Well, with the virtual platform, since we'll be recording sessions, you will be able to access recordings of the other sessions happening in that same time that you didn't get to attend live. And so we're working with Marquis to make those available. Likely will be on the next business day. You'll be able to start revisiting those, but it may be a few days. We have to see how long it's taking to render and make those available. But then those will be available for a period of time following the conference as well. So you'll have time to revisit and really dig into all of the fantastic concurrent sessions that will be available during the conference. On Monday and Tuesday, we also have afternoon general sessions with keynote speakers. And so on Monday, that's Dr. Mark Plotkin, as you see here. And then in the evening the evening or the afternoon, depending on your time zone, also acknowledging that we have members joining from as far away as the Netherlands and New Zealand and Singapore. So in the evening on the East Coast, we will welcome to a social hour. And again, these are going to be somewhat similar to the coffee talks of some unstructured rooms and opportunities for people to engage in some informal networking. You can bring your own glass of safe wine or coffee, depending on your time zone and your energy levels, or your fanciest fizzy water, and join your colleagues to network, make those connections. And it also gives you an opportunity to meet somebody somewhere if you've connected earlier in the day and you're thinking, I'm going to be in social room 2, join me there and let's connect and meet up as well. You'll also see on the schedule a few events that are designated for specific audiences. And so here you see our student power hour. We have a director's meeting on another day, and those are meetings that are specific to a subset of members or a certain group within AZA. And access to join those will only be granted to those members. So just note that, that those do appear on the general schedule, but you may not be able to access them if you haven't been specifically invited. And then in the evening on Monday, as well as on Wednesday, we have something called the Buzz. And the Buzz is a special type of conference session that we launched a few years ago that brings together a number of Ignite or short 5-minute style presentations together that are not related to one another. And it has a facilitator with a fantastic energy and focus on fun. Typically in person, there's a cash bar as well as the opportunity to purchase snacks. So it's just a fun, different kind of informal opportunity for people to present shorter sessions and for you to learn about all kinds of things from sustainable fishery. Last year, I learned all about Afromomo, a word I will now never forget. And so definitely make time to participate in the Buzz on Monday and Wednesday as well. And then additionally, in the afternoon, you will also see these things marked community conversations, which will be opportunities to engage further with some of our general session speakers, as well as idea sharing chats and roundtables. And those, again, will be Zoom rooms that you can join and participate in an open conversation, but they'll be facilitated around a specific topic or perhaps an initiative. So someone may say, you know, I'd love to talk to people about how we're effectively communicating about climate change, or I'd love to talk to somebody about how they're evolving their membership programs in the times of COVID. And so there'll be a person who's designated that room with that topic, and you can jump in and join and be part of that conversation. So this is what it looks like on the virtual platform site. When you jump on, you can choose to across the top to select one of the days. You can also filter in other ways around the types of sessions. Up here, you can change the view from a list view to a grid view, and you can see here the coffee talks are listed, showing the tracks. If you switch to a grid view, they become horizontally a carousel, and you'll see all the coffee talks across one and then the next thing on this schedule. So definitely, if you have not visited this virtual.aza.org yet with your MVP login, encourage you to do so. Jump around and think about what the schedule is that you'd like to build for yourself. Now our concurrent sessions will look like this. It's a little shameless plug for a session that I'm moderating on Tuesday about navigating your leadership journey. And so you'll see on here that our session tracks are across here. A number of sessions this year, even more than usual, are identified as more than one track, which is great because we do have an emphasis on a lot of interdisciplinary work as well. And so you can sort by track as well, and you'll see those icons. If you click on the title of the session here on the website, a flyout menu will appear on the right-hand side to give you even more detail about the session and the speakers. Right here, you see this teal language that says broadcast. That's where you're going to click through to actually join this session. You can see it notes here that it starts 2 minutes before the session time. So at 12:13 p.m., this will allow you to click live into that virtual session room to get started with viewing that session. The sessions will use a combination of Q&A and potential polling features, as well as some are using some additional interactive technology as well. We will not be using a chat feature during the meetings just to make sure that it's not too distracting, but you can use the Q&A to communicate with panelists and participate in some feedback. A few sessions are designed as meetings instead, like this, to really facilitate more conversation and engagement, but those will be limited to a smaller group of attendees. So just to make sure that it really is possible for everyone to join together, to move into breakout rooms and that sort of thing. So those will allow up to 100 participants. So whereas these will allow many, many more, as many would like to join essentially. All right, we're almost through the schedule. So just to highlight our general sessions that I mentioned and kind of what will be happening each day, we'll kick off Monday with the opening general session. You'll hear again from Dan, as well as our board of directors, about the state of the association and our community, reflecting on the progress that we've made on our strategic plan over the last year and where we see AZA going in the year ahead as well. And then that afternoon, as I mentioned, we'll have our first keynote speaker. On Monday morning, we're having a panel discussion focused on diversity, equity, access, and inclusion that will be moderated by Denise Verrett, who's one of our board members, as well as the executive director of the Los Angeles Zoo, with some fantastic panelists to share their perspectives and experiences. That afternoon, we have a second keynote from Dr. Barbara Natterson-Horwitz. On Wednesday, we'll have our honors and awards presentation. If you may have heard about it in the past, this is typically a lunch at our annual conference, but we'll be doing it as part of our general session, and we'll be revealing and celebrating the awards across our community. On Thursday, we'll have another panel discussion moderated by the Executive Director of the Wildlife Conservation Society, Christian Saint-Père, and a number of fantastic panelists as well, sharing perspectives on wildlife trafficking, its intersection with global pandemics, and our conservation efforts and how we can all help moving forward. And then finally on Friday, we have our what is our association business meeting. And that's where we will install our new board members, as well as our new members of the ethics board, some of the most important roles in serving our association, and hear an address from Bert Castro, who is our incoming board chair. And then finally, we will be ending our conference, as is tradition, with our virtual Zoo Day hosted by the Columbus Zoo. So this is something I'm personally really excited about. I know Columbus has been preparing and was so excited to host us in person. So we're giving them the opportunity for 2 hours for us to celebrate the end of a successful week by getting to know all of their fantastic exhibits, hearing from their staff, seeing the amazing things that their animals and staff can do, and really just getting a flavor of the Columbus Zoo and some of their great conservation work as well. So really looking forward, and make sure that you put time on your schedule to attend that virtual Zoo Day as a final celebration of our week.